Jimmy Page's influence is everywhere.
Yes.
I mean, fuck.
Everywhere.
You know, he got influenced by certain artists and shit like that, but like there's a lot of motherfuckers that got game that play from that time on to now that got game from Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
You ever sample stuff like
inspired by?
Yes, 100%.
What were you saying?
I was gonna say to Les, you ever sample any of that kind of music from that era?
Not really. I mean, you never know. All kind of shit.
Find some.
That's something the Beastie Boys would have sampled. I mean, they sampled Zeppelin shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were the only ones that could really get away with it.
Dude, the rumor is that they sampled more than like 2 or 3 songs on License to Ill.
Yeah, they did.
And they never got popped. Like they never got.
No one figured out what it was.
No, Jimmy Page heard it and was like, he considered it more of an homage than he did anything, so he never went after it.
Yeah, because it wasn't like they took a full loop and just used the full loop.
They were cutting it. You know what I mean? They were, so that's he heard it and was like, cool.
And that's where you got to give it to guys like Jimmy Page who let it go.
Yeah.
And was like, you know what, this is fucking cool.
Dude.
And the Beasties killed that.
Hell yeah. And it made more people who were listening to the Beasties go find, when people started searching for the breaks that the Beasties used, it led to Zeppelin. Haha, see what happened there?
Sure did.
Damn.
It led to Zeppelin. I heard it. Nice one.
I did that today.
You know what?
Right? Just a little bit.
I asked a question. You never know what's going to happen. And that was what I was looking for, and I didn't know it.
So it was cool that, they never even, popped the Beasties for it. Same thing with Eddie Van Halen. He let Tone Loc use Atomic Punk. Yeah, Jamie's Crying. It was Jamie's Crying.
Yeah, they could have totally went after him, and they let him. They're like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's cool. I think it's cool.
Those were the guys who sort of understood, right? And were like, they didn't necessarily embrace hip-hop, but they were like, I see what you're doing. That's cool.
Right.
Whereas some of them were just like, you know what? Fuck that.
Yeah, dude.
That shit ain't real music. Oh, we used to get that. I remember that. Some of them heads were just like, nah.
Yeah.
And we were like, fuck you. it was like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then it fortunately it was able to flip and motherfuckers started accepting one another. But like beforehand, we were the stepchild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hip hop arguably went through exactly what rock and roll went through, if not worse.
Yeah. More so.
More so because where rock and roll was also considered not real music. People looked at Elvis Presley and that kind of rock and roll like, oh my God, that's noise.
Yeah.
And the same thing with when people started judging hip hop, they were like, oh, it's not melodic. It's just someone, rhyming. There's no musical there's no.
What the hell is this jibber jabber?
Yeah. What's he talking about?
These whippersnappers bumping that Tupac.
This ain't music.
And and it's just a trip how we they add all the other components to make everyone judge it.
I think EDM got that too because they're like people are just pushing buttons on a computer and it got so much hate. But now you look at it as having some of the biggest festivals in the world.
Well, the thing about that is that you got to produce it, and if you're producing it, that's more than just pushing buttons. Maybe when you're presenting it, that's all it seems to be. But you got to put the work in to get those songs to put in the the buttons on.
Right.
Yeah.
If they're not your songs, different story.
Yeah.
Then you're just a button pusher. But if you're producing it and you're presenting it, hey, however you present it, but you put the work in on this fucking music.
That's why whenever I've heard anyone try to diss Deadmau5, they're like, oh, whatever, you always just a button pusher. I was like, yo, he made every single thing he's playing tonight.
Exactly.
And
Facts.
He arranged it to make this special set that he's playing for you today.
It's all catered.
It's catered to tonight.
Or tailored.
Yeah. It's tailored. It's
if you want to
curated.
Curated. There you go.
Curated. Yeah, like there's always you could fucking put it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
fit it like a suit, it's tailored. Eat it like food, it's catered.
Bars.
Bars.
This is a barred out Tuesday.
So
if you got gravy, there's potatoes.
I think with EDM, the thing I think
the haters.
The festivals I think were the big deal, but I think it also what kind of fucked it up was like the drug culture that went along with that. As far as everyone getting fucked up.
That was the stigma that
was
EDM
the stigma
got
that
was drugs.
Because it's it's everyone doing everything.
Molly.
I mean, I remember Rick James used to hate hip hop.
Oh, he used to hate it.
Word?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But once he got that first hip hop check, he was like, I love hip hop.
Yeah.
This hip hop ain't so bad.
Who first sampled Rick James?
Hey, that's why, like, you know, people always, I think, asked Muggs throughout fucking, you know, here and there, like, why he never sampled the Mary Jane Girls or anything and did a track to that type of shit. And it's because, you know, like, we knew, although we loved Rick James's music, we know he didn't fuck with hip hop. So we, you know, we're like, fuck that. We're not gonna sample him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Other people did.
Yeah,
but we didn't.
We never, like us, we never sampled like popular music, you know, like even James Brown, we never sampled no James Brown. Like we was always on some real rare shit. So.
Yeah,
it's all preference and what you want the sound to sound like, you know.
You know, and it's also, you know.
We wasn't doing the Diddy, you know, sampling all kind of shit. You know?
Yeah, no, you were out there finding the rarest records.
David Bowie and all that shit. You know, Cool in the Gang.
The homie Satire was breaking down your chopping style to me. We're in the studio on Wednesday, and he was just saying, like, Les has these chops with these samples that nobody was chopping their shit like in that era, and it kind of set a wave.
Yeah. I try to tell producers, like, I could find loops all day. Loops are easy. Like, just loop it. Loop it, stupid. We used to say that, you know. But to chop something and create some other shit, that's that. Now you put some little brain to it, you know, like so.
Because you can chop it and rearrange it to make it sound totally unrecognizable than the source you grabbed it from. And that's the goal.
Yeah.
You want to flip that shit. Like, that's why people look at Les. They look at, you know, like Pete Rock. They look at, you know, Dilla. They look at Madman. You know, Muggs. You know, they look at these cats that will take something and flip and make the most rugged and raw shit they possibly can.
It. Yep.
And that's where you get
and not only that, but we would chop it in order to get away with clearance too, because you know you didn't want to clear shit. Now we're gonna chop it and turn it into some other.
But now
shit.
You got supercomputers.
Yeah, now you could chop it any way you want, and you can make it link. It's awesome. I stopped. I should have kept making beats, man.
Still can.
Still got it in you, bro.
I ain't got time for this.
Get
shit,
in the studio, B.
I got beats.
If it was set up like by the
time.
DJ setup and it just set up ready to go, I think you would jump on it.
I probably would, but you know, like one
time.
has only so much time in the day.
You make greatness though in like what takes people hours in a shorter amount of time.
I work fast, yes, because I don't like to fucking dilly-dally and second-guess myself 1,000 fucking times, because sometimes that happens when you're making beats. Like, it's a meticulous art form.
Yes.
Like, you got to go over it, and, like, I was never one to, like, overthink it.
Yeah.
If it sounds good to me in that moment, I might add some shit to it or clean it up, polish it up, whatever, but, like, I'm not going to fucking flip this one thing, like, fucking 20 times second guessing myself, you know what I mean?
Right.
So in that regard, yes, I'm fast. You know what I mean? It's just like I only got so much time in the day.
I'm gonna have to ask Gary V to motivate B to make beats.
No one's got to motivate me to do anything. I do it when I want to do it.
Wow, Cairo.
That'd be so
audacity.
Cool. How's that the audacity?
I love Gary V and all that, but like I am my own motivation, son.
All right,
Saying.
true. Very true.
Motivation.
Motivation.
Mota.
Finish your joint, lightweight ass.
Wow, I was drinking the whiskey.
I got an announcement from the Insane Asylum.
Okay.
They keep on saying Slipknot hitting the road with Cypress Hill. Knotfest Roadshow.
This is true. We are doing some stuff
Road trip.
with the boys.
Yeah, the horrors. They're dope.
Look at these guys. Look at these guys, man. Their shows are incredible. The musicianship and the energy and the songs.
Oh, man. They do heat.
Mm-hmm.